Hi guys, and welcome to this spectacular review of Subnautica.
This is a game for everybody out there who are scarred for life by movies like Jaws or The Abyss. The game has been out some time in early access, and it is good to actually see it released in a proper way. So, Askiblos, I guess, without further ado, let's dive in.
Don't forget to hold your nose. Let's go for a swim.
That was really impressive. Askiblos, I'm really impressed in how you smooth talk all the way. Are you as good with the ladies?
Yeah.
They do not want us down there.
After 3 years in early access, Subnautica is now released as a finished game. I have played it for a little over 1.5 years, and I must say it feels good to see a game after a long time in early access actually being released under proper circumstances. So, let's dive in and see what the fuss is all about. Whew.
Here we go!
This game setting is one of the best you could do as a game developer, according to us. Following the crash with your spaceship, you're trapped in this giant sea. And not as in most similar games where you're bound at the bottom, but here you can explore everything between the bottom and the surface, and even above the surface, on land, and beneath the bottom. And as you can see, the game's environments are extremely beautiful at times. And at the same time kind of scary all the time, because you never know what's lurking beneath or above. Oh man, I still remember when I saw Leviathan up close for the first time.
I don't know if this is something that is the same for all, but we both feel that the ocean is a very scary but fascinating place. We want to go there, but at the same time we don't. It's like having a dripping and sludgy cake on the table. You know it will taste like heaven and you will eventually eat it, but at the same time you know you will be fat. And for a game set like this, you get a lot of genuine feelings as your mind goes primal when fear of the unknown is present. The graphics are really clean and saturated, with a lot of colors, shadows and lighting. It's sort of a fest for your eyes. It's not photorealistic, not sketchy. It's a very unique look over it. Can't say we really have seen these graphics elsewhere. But graphics really serve the game. They work like the hand in the glove. Smooth all the way.
Based on this setting, Subnautica really hits the jackpot here. It must be the most well-made and beautiful sea exploration to date. With all this beautiful passive wildlife and flora, with colorful surroundings, and the mystical sounds everywhere. And as the developers have said themselves, there has been a lot of research put into tracking how real-world sea creatures behave and what properties they have, including self-defense mechanisms and physical designs. So it's really kind of impressive work in many ways.
When we made Subnautica, we were making alien creatures. And we made creatures that we thought were absolutely, the wildest. We had, things that electrified. We had creatures with tentacles and, mandibles and all things we can think of. And then we come to the aquarium and realize that all this stuff not only actually exists, but is actually 10 times scarier in real life. there's a mind controlling fish. Like, so it's like the mesmer in the game.
Yeah, like the mesmer in the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like that. So like you'll see a lot of the cuttlefish, like the flamboyant cuttlefish especially, they can use those chromatophores on their skin, just like put off all these different patterns. And in some cases, like even with the little tentacles in front, they'll like kind of draw the animal in, like distract them. They're kind of like, oh, what's this? And then they eat their face. And even other things like the sand sharks that are in the game.
Yeah.
We have the thing like the angel shark. It'll bury itself under the sand, sits in one spot, and as soon as something comes nearby, they have this giant mouth. They can just open up, sucking everything into their mouth, and then just bury themselves again like it never happens.
All right, well, we're going to pass it back to the hostess one more time.
So, what do you do swimming around in a massive ocean? Well, you are stranded on this planet as a lone survivor of your crashed ship, the Aurora, with nothing but the basic means to build stuff, because it's also a building game. You use raw materials to build complete products, from the knife to the different parts of buildings or compartments. There is a well-designed tech tree with different tiers of materials and equipment you can use for your survival. And here comes one detail that stands out. It may sound like something bad, but actually it is something that lifts this game up a notch. It is that there is an obvious intended lack of weaponry. This is because you are never really meant to fight and kill. You are trying to survive. So it's about survival rather than fighting. And this brings out the true feeling of the game. Its immersed sense of vulnerability and focus to find threats from any direction.
When establishing a new save file, you have the option to choose between different modes, like the survival mode, where you have to manage hunger and thirst and health, the freedom mode, where you don't have to manage hunger or thirst, then you have the self-explanatory creative mode and hardcore mode. And it is nice to have these options, but I must say the game most definitely plays in SSA when played in survival. And for some murderous reason there is no autosave, and I guarantee you that there is no actual fun in playing for 3 hours straight. See the game crash and just realizing that you haven't saved for 3 hours.
You whiny bitch! My granduncle would have loved so hard at you right now. He never needed any progress, always swam around naked, farting at his enemies. Anyways, one thing that I wanted to add for you with the brains is that there is a ton of minor animations, what I used to call unnecessary but valuable details. And this is very plausible. Well, you may continue, Meat Brain. Tell us about the vehicle mechanic as a whole.
The meat of the game, the bloody beef that we all want to get our teeth in, the submarines. I don't think I played a game that makes this vehicle mechanic work this good. When you enter the big Cyclops submarine, you are in a self-sustaining cell, maybe not 100% accurate in technical terms, where you can walk around and do stuff, eat, drink, look through your files, or maybe look at the submarine's energy status to make sure none of your power cells is not discharged, or just do whatever your imagination cooks up. You also control the different parts of the submarine in real time with all of its buttons and levers. It's really awesome. The gold plating of this jewel is that when you're inside the sub, the fishes outside could still affect your sub. If a big ass fish comes while you're cooking coffee on board, you may be hit and get that coffee all over yourself, so you have to be careful of where you park your submarine. And don't forget to bring an extra pair of pants.
So, the environments and graphics are great, the gameplay mechanics are great. What about the story, you ask me? Well, the player is drawn forward in the story by these messages, asking the player to travel to different locations to help fellow survivors. There, you'll find the data files that slowly builds the context of the story. For me, I always felt that the story was kind of a side activity. And the story in short terms, without too much spoiler, is that your ship crashed on the planet 4546b, leaving you alone on its sea-covered surface. There, you realize that the planet is under quarantine, so no ship can enter or leave the planet. You have to deactivate that system. You need to find out how and do it, and get out of there. So, even though the story has some good moments to it, I feel that in the end, the game is first and foremost a sandbox experience.
We have 3 different vehicles to our disposal. We have the small, easy-to-use sub called a Seamoth, we have a large-ass monster truck sub called a Cyclops, and we have a suit sub, the prawn suit that is used to walk on the sea bottom and mine materials. This is a good balance of usefulness, and they are all needed for the specific uses, but for some childish reason I kind of hoped for 1 or 2 more submarines, because it's really cool, and the thought of being able to build different submarines is thrilling to me. Maybe a big Colossus where you could have your whole base, or a big wheel-driven truck that you could drive on the bottom. I don't know, it's not really needed, but it would be cool as hell.
Irvin Anderson, listen to me. As I said, if I round this up, the game is solid with just 1 crash in my about 100 hours of gameplay and no lag, almost no problems with glitches. We get a good game here that runs smooth with fantastic graphics and mechanics, and I should say that it takes about 20 to 25 hours to complete the game in a normal self-learning way. But thanks to the sandbox feeling and mixed with the great environments, I feel that the replayability is there naturally. I'm sure to return here, swim around, survive, build something cool. Just look at this and try to learn something. No microtransactions needed, man. Just do it. This is how you do it.
This is one of extremely few good examples of early access, which is a good concept, but too easy to abuse. Unknown Worlds would probably not have survived if not for the support of early access. So this is a story with a happy ending, but even so, be careful around early access. It's a really dirty market.
Well, I guess that should cover most of it, even though a game like this could take a lot more. But yeah, I think we got it. Beautiful surroundings, different stuff to do. It's quite an awesome game. And even though I have most stuff, I'm sure I will someday return here. Maybe eat some fish.
God damn it, that was some ride, right? So, our final verdict for Subnautica is motivated by the feeling that we get a solid game, we get what we pay for. The developer seems to be loving and caring. And yeah, the game can't be considered altogether perfect, but no game can really be considered perfect or without its flaws. So, our final verdict for Subnautica must end at a very strong 8 out of 10. Yeah. Let's go for a meal, man. I'm hungry as hell. No fish though. Don't forget to like, subscribe, push the bell to get notifications of all our latest
purchase some cheap games with additional cashback, follow our link down below. I'll be seeing you in the next spectacular video.